Hey y'all, it's Miss A. Today we're going to be looking at exponents. We're going to be writing them in expanded form, writing them in exponent form, and then actually solving them and expressing them in standard form. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. If you are at home, of course you have a physical copy of this you can print if you have access to a computer. If not, the notes aren't that long to actually write out. There's not a whole lot of there's not words or anything. So yeah, it's there for you. It's there for you if you want it. If not, a piece of paper is just fine. Before we get started though, I do want to talk about a couple things before we get into the examples. So I'm actually going to flip my paper over. You don't have to, obviously, if you're just doing this on notebook paper. But we need to talk about what an exponent is and what it looks like. So let's say we had the number 4. And we had this little bitty number in the corner of a 2. Okay? This is an exponent. This is what's known as an exponent. Exponent, yeah. Make sure I spelled it right. And then the big number, that big number 4, notice how there is a difference in the way they are written. The 4 is big and the 2 is small. The 4 is what's known as a base number. So we have a base number, which is the big number, and the little bitty number in the upper right-hand corner, that is what's known as an exponent. So what this is the base number is the number being multiplied, okay? The little bitty number in the corner, that is what's known as the exponent, like I said, and that's how many times the base number is being multiplied by itself. So we're going to multiply the base number 4, and we're going to multiply it 2 times. So 4 times 4. Not 4 times 2. The 2 is just how many times you multiply it. You're always going to be multiplying the base number of 4. Okay? So 4 times 4. So the base number should be the number being multiplied. The exponent is how many times you see that number. So 2. Alright, let's look at one more example like that. And then I want to talk about how we read this. Alright, so let's say we had 3 and then we had a 4. So 3 is the base number, 4 is my exponent. So the number being multiplied is the base, which is 3. And we need to multiply it 4 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice I'm using dots for multiplication. We talked about variables yesterday and how we don't want to use x's anymore for multiply because x is a very common variable. So get in the habit of using a dot. Make sure you put the dot in the middle. Don't put it at the bottom because that's technically a decimal, not multiplication. It goes in the middle of the number. Alright, so again, my base number was 3. The number being multiplied, and the exponent is 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pretty simple. Very easy. We're actually going to get into solving it on the front, in the actual examples. But I want to talk about really quickly, how do you read this? You don't say 4, 2. You don't say 42. You actually read this as 4, and then you say to the, so 4 to the blank power. The exponent is the power, and the blank is whatever number this is. So this is the second. So 4 to the second power. This would be 3 to the blank power. So 3 to the 4th power. This would be 7 to the 3rd power. Let's see. And then this would be 5 to the 7th power. Okay? So you always say the base number and then to the blank power. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on. Alright, let's get into the actual notes on the front. Flip it back over. Alright, number 1, so this one says to rewrite in expanded form. So we have the base and the exponent. Expanded form means we're going to write it in that big long multiplication sentence. Okay, so let's start off with number 1. We have 23 to the 7th power. So the base number being multiplied is 23. And we need to multiply it 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the number being multiplied is 23. It needs to appear 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you put a dot for multiplication in between each one. Technically, you could put an X, but you'll know we need to get in the habit of using the dot. All right, number 2, 3 to the 8th power. So with the number being multiplied is 3, it needs to appear 8 times. So you might want to just write them out and then put the dots. So 8 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then put a dot in between each one. So the base number was 3. It should appear 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's correct. I want y'all to do these two on your own. So go ahead and pause the video, get them written out, and then unpause and see if you get them correct. All right, number 3, we have 5 to the 9th power. So we have base number of 5 being multiplied 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then put my dots. I like to double check just to make sure. So 5s and then 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 18 to the 6th power. So the number being multiplied is 18. 18. And then 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then put my dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're good. Hopefully y'all find this pretty simple. Just remember the big number is the number being multiplied, and the little number is how many times you see that big number, that base number. All right, so here we're going to write them in exponent form. So we're going to take the expanded and we're going to write them using an exponent. This is actually a lot easier, a lot quicker. So here I know my base number is 4 because it's the number being multiplied. So that's going to be my big number. The base number is always the big number when you write it. And the exponent in the upper right-hand corner, not the left, is how many times you're multiplying it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the exponent is 7. All right, here, number 2, the base number is 22. The exponent is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty easy. Go ahead and pause the video, do this number 3 and number 4 on your own, and then unpause and see how you did. All right, number 3, the base number is 9. The exponent is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 9 to the 4th power. Number 4, the base number is 17. The exponent has how many times it's being multiplied? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 17 to the 5th power. Easy peasy. Should be easy, hopefully. All right, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to write them in standard form. Standard form means to actually multiply them out, okay? And this is, there's a very common simple mistake kids make all the time, and we're going to address that. You just have to multiply. Sometimes it's the long multiplication problem, sometimes it's somewhat short, but you just have to multiply it completely out. All right, we're not going to do all 10 of these because that's a lot of examples, and some of them the numbers are big and the exponents are large. So we're just going to do a few of them. We are going to get practice on just writing them in an expanded form, and then I'll show you how to multiply them out. All right, so we're only going to do, let's just do these 4. Just those 4 is fine. All right, so number 1 says 2 to the 10th power. Remember, we read it as 2 and then to the blank power, so this is 10th. 2 to the 10th power. So I'm going to start off by actually writing it out completely. So 2 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and now I want to actually multiply it and get it in standard form. I'm actually going to do this on the back of my paper just so I have a little bit more room. All right, so I'm going to rewrite that 2 to the 10th power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now, the mistake kids make is they see this and they're like, oh, this is easy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. The answer is 20. No. because what you just did there was you took the base of 2 and the exponent of 10 and you just multiplied them together. 10 times 2 equals 20. And that is not correct. You never multiply the base and the exponent to get the answer. You have to write it out, and then you have to multiply two numbers together at a time. I like to put parentheses around the numbers that I'm multiplying, and then write the answer either above or below it. All right, so I know that 2 times 2, which is what I'm doing in every single parentheses, is 4. Okay, now I'm multiplying all these 4's together. So I'm going to multiply these, and then this one's over here by itself. So 4 and 4 make 16, and then I have the 4 that I wasn't able to pair it with. So now I have to multiply 16 times 16 and then times 4. Okay, so at this point you can choose how you multiply it. If you want to do 16 and 4 first and then multiply it by 16, I'm going to do my big numbers first and then multiply it by a smaller number. So I'm going to do these first. 16 times 16. So here we get 36. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 makes 9. Done with that, put a placeholder. And then now 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Add everything up. 6, 15, and 2. Alright, I wish I was done, but I'm not quite done yet. I now need to do 256 times that last number of 4. This shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to keep it here. That's fine. Times 4. So 24. 20 plus 2 makes 22. 8 plus 2 makes 10. Whew. So 1024. So like I said, the biggest mistake kids make is they just want to skip count. When you skip count, you're actually adding 2 every time. So you actually have to write it out. I like to put parentheses. You can circle the numbers you're multiplying, whatever you want. But multiply them a couple at a time and then rewrite the problem as you go. Okay, so 1024 was this one. Alright, now these exponents aren't quite as big, but the base numbers are larger than a 2. Let's do, I'm actually going to skip this one. We won't do number 3. We'll just do number 5, and then I'm going to have y'all do this number 7 on your own. Alright, so 5 to the 4th power is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Base number is 5, exponents 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We now have to multiply those out. This isn't quite as long, so I'll do it here. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. So I now need to multiply 25 times 25. Okay? Remember, don't just skip count 5, 10, 15, 20. We don't multiply those two numbers together. So 25 times 25 will get me my answer. I get 25 here. 10, remember you can use the lattice method if the lattice method helps you. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 makes 12. Placeholder. And then 2 times 5 is 10. 4 plus 1 is 5. Get 5, 2, and 6. So 625. Just multiply it out. That's a completely different answer than we would have got if we just did 5, 10, 15, 20. There's a big difference between 20 and 625. So make sure you actually multiply them out. Alright, so I want you to do the number 7 here, the 8 to the 3rd power. 8 to the 3rd power. Pause the video, do that one on your own, and then unpause it to see how you do. Alright, so hopefully y'all found this one somewhat easier, a little bit shorter. And this is 8 to the 3rd power, so 8 times 8 times 8. Alright, so now we need to actually multiply that out. So there's 3 numbers here, so I'm going to multiply these two first, and I get 64. 8 times 8 is 64. And then we've got our another number 8 that we have to multiply. I do have a multiplication chart on Canvas for you if you want to, on the agenda, if you need to use that to help you multiply these numbers out. Alright, so now I got to do 64 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 6 times 8 is 48, 49, 50, and 51. So we get 512. And that's it. All right. So for the most part, exponents are pretty simple. The hardest or most time-consuming part is actually multiplying them out, especially if that exponent is a big number. If the exponent's small, it's a lot less work. But make sure you just write them out, multiply them a couple numbers at a time, and go from there. All right. I did want to say one more thing real quick. Sorry. Over here, when you had all these 2's, you had 10 of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with multiplication symbols. Instead of grouping them the way I did, you could just multiply 2 numbers at a time. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. You could have done it just a couple numbers at a time. You would have to do that several times to get to that final answer. I just like to group them a couple at a time to make it a little bit quicker. But you could have done it, multiply it first, 4, and then 4 times 2, 8, and then keep on going. But sometimes that can be a little bit confusing. Anyway, if y'all have any questions or concerns over anything, please don't hesitate to contact me on Zoom or send me an email in Canvas. I know this video is long. I apologize. It was just that last part got a little bit long. Y'all have a great day, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.